It is my personal opinion that you should not have to spend the price of a gallbladder on the black market to be able to afford skincare. As someone who's been an expert in the industry for over 10 years as a medical esthetician who helps people with their products, and yes, people used to bring in, specific things that I didn't necessarily like, I would help people turn and learn their ingredients and understand how these things are actually working, and actually use my contacts inside of the skincare industry to find out how much these things actually cost to make versus how much they actually charge for them because of the branding, the celebrity endorsements, the fancy bottles, etc. I'm also going to be sharing the things I would purchase instead if I didn't have the money or the interest to buy the luxury stuff. Now, that being said, I do want to make it clear these are not exact dupes. For example, we have some goopy goop, and the alternative that I have is actually a very different product, but it gives the skin a similar result. And dupes in general, you can never understand the formulation, the manufacturing, the packaging, etc. Dupes really are just going off of ingredients and texture and feel, so it's not exactly what we're doing here. But if I didn't want to spend the money on something ridiculously expensive, even if it were good, like this one, these are the things that I would recommend instead that are a fraction of the price, because we shouldn't have to spend a ton of money to have good skin. And if you want to, more power to ya. Go for it. But should you have to? And should you be listening to celebrities who are basically walking billboards who are talking about why their amazing new skincare launch is the best thing since sliced bread? No, the best thing since sliced bread has been sliced sourdough and loaf cats. You're welcome. Let's start with something that we actually used to use, sell, and recommend post microneedling. This is from PCA Skin. This is the Hyaluronic Acid Boosting Serum, and I have to give it to PCA Skin. This stuff is actually really, really good. It is insanely expensive, but it does have hyaluronic acid as well as ceramides. It has no synthetic dyes or fragrances, but what makes this unique is that it's not like a liquidy hyaluronic acid serum the way a lot of other ones are. It's actually more of like a moisturizer. It's a nice kind of gel consistency. And after medical microneedling, again, you should never microneedle at home. After medical microneedling, you want the skin to go through an inflammatory phase. That's actually what stimulates your collagen and your immune cells to actually, rebuild in that area. However, a lot of people do get dry and itchy after microneedling, and once you make those channels in the skin, you do want them to heal up well. This is so nice because it's not just like a liquidy hyaluronic acid, it actually has glycerin and dimethicone. It actually soothes over the skin, and it has a yeast extract as well as jojoba, which you know that I love, and then it has these ceramides. So yes, it is hyaluronic acid, but it's also ceramides, and this is a really fantastic one. It does have rosemary in it, and it does smell a little bit like rosemary, but this was actually sold by, again, doctors and dermatologists that I've worked with for post-microneedling care. And it is a really good one. If you have the money, I would actually recommend purchasing this, and if you are undergoing microneedling, I would actually recommend this. However, if you're like, ooh, I wanted to try the PCA Skin, but it's too expensive for me, or I am doing microneedling for a special event, but I don't want to invest in this much long term, you shouldn't have to. I would actually recommend something that doesn't have any fragrances post microneedling. You can get hyaluronic acid serums or skin barrier serums. We can actually talk about post microneedling care. We did that on the Discord and the Patreon, if you're on the Discord, the Patreon, and the memberships. But that being said, there is an option if you want a really nice barrier repair cream that, yes, has hyaluronic acid as well as ceramides. This one, again, isn't a complete dupe, but this is from Pure AM, and oh my god, I love this line. It's from Korea, it's the authentic barrier balm, and their whole thing is about being authentic to yourself. This, yes, does have hyaluronic acid in two different forms. It has the hydrolyzed hyaluronic acid as well as the sodium hyaluronate, but it also has these really nice ceramides. And when you put it on, you see how it's not just like a liquid serum, like it's an actual balm that smooths over the skin. And similar to the PCA Skin, it has that thicker feel that really locks everything in. And again, you could use either of these as actually like a sleep mask overnight. This Pure AM one also has jojoba, just the way this one does, and this one actually also has rosemary in it, but the PCA Skin one, it almost smells more like rosemary. With this one, I honestly cannot smell the rosemary at all. All of Pure AM's stuff, they were made and actually tested by a dermatologist in Germany to make sure that they were safe for sensitive and like skin barrier damaged skin. And even though they have some oils in here, I feel like you can't smell it, and I feel like it's not much of them. But while they are not an exact dupe, if you didn't want to spend the money on this, this is a really good one, and overall, mwah, I do love it. Ugh, and let's get goopy, why don't we? This, oh my god, this. I didn't buy this, I got this sent to me. But this, yes, is the Goop Microdermabrasion Scrub. And do you know, I'm sorry, it's the exfoliating instant facial mask, exfoliant instante formulated with age-defying technology, aka Gwyneth Paltrow's pseudoscience. Now, this was back when Juice Beauty was actually making Goop products. I think that they did part ways because Juice Beauty is about sustainability. The founder's husband is actually a cardiologist. They believe in science and nature, and they do everything in a very eco-friendly way. They have a farm in Northern California. I don't know this for sure. This is just me guessing. This is just speculation, but like if I were Juice Beauty, I would have looked at what Goop was like saying with like their, you know, energy healing body stickers and their vagina candles that are supposed to help you with like post-depression stress or something, and I would have been like, yeah, no. So I don't know if the formula has changed, but back when it was this, it irritated the out of my face. It left me burnt, it left me red, it left me irritated. This was not the product for me. And they say that it has alpha and beta hydroxy acids, they have cellulose beads and vitamin B5 and plant stem cells. Yeah, but it did not work. And it's supposed to be an exfoliator. It's supposed to be, you know, calming to the skin, but still renewing. It's supposed to help with your pores and exfoliation. This was a goopy absolute mess. What's shocking is that because this was made by Juice Beauty at the time, Juice Beauty is actually responsible and says, sunburn alert, this product contains alpha hydroxy acids that may increase your skin sensitivity to the sun and the possibility of sunburn. Use sunscreen when you use this and for a week afterwards. Unfortunately, it sounds like they failed to understand how Gwyneth Paltrow actually uses her sunscreen as a highlighter, because that is probably not what they were talking about on this package. But this formula was terrible, it burned my skin. The main ingredients were aloe leaf juice. They also have lactic acid. They have a whole bunch of different oils, including bergamot, lemon, lavender, etc. I'm pretty sure that's why this freaked out my face. And I will give it to them, it did make my skin feel smoother, but it's because it irritated and stripped the crap out of it. Now, if I didn't want to support Goop and didn't want to pay 125 freaking doll hairs, what would I do? Well, Juice Beauty actually has a bamboo charcoal mask that makes my skin do exactly what this product promised, but without all of the irritation, and it's at a fraction of the price, and it's actually in a little glass package. This is one of my favorite face masks. It's a pore refining mask, and it actually mildly and gently exfoliates the skin. It takes away the greasy oiliness, and it actually adds deep moisture and hydration, and then it doesn't leave my skin looking red or irritated. It says a pore refining mask. I do feel like it makes my pores look smaller, it exfoliates well, and that's what this was supposed to do, and it just didn't. This, just like this, has a first ingredient of aloe, and it also has those AHA acids, specifically lactic acid and glycolic acid. It's also got willow bark extract, and obviously they're not dupes because this is a black charcoal mask, but this makes my face feel way better than this did. It had a lot of the same key ingredients. It's less expensive, it's an eco-friendly packaging, and it's by a brand that I can actually support. Then we've got this guy, and similar to the PCA skin, like, I actually like this one. The problem is that this is $178. This is amazing. It's from an Australian skincare line called Rejuve Aus, as in like Rejuvenate Australia. It's actually made by a doctor, so there's credentials behind it, and it's called the ABC Repair and Restore Antioxidant Serum. Now, I will say this is amazing. If you do have $178, it is a really good antioxidant serum, especially to apply under sunscreen. Australian skincare, sometimes they're doing it better, okay? But at the same time, if someone doesn't have that kind of money, yet you want something that has vitamin C or cockatoo plum or that's really great for the skin, like what are you supposed to do? Because although this is amazing, it is very, very much expensive. This really is everything. They just shove a whole bunch of goodies in here. They've got vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C. They have multiple antioxidants, including cockatoo plum, which is kind of hard to find in really good skincare, but yes, we have some options that we're gonna talk about. They say no artificial fragrances, no lanolin. They choose not to put synthetic fillers or, you know, sulfates or mineral oils in there. I personally don't hate those things. And when we look at the ingredients list, like the first ingredient is aloe, you've got niacinamide, you've got your vitamin C, oh my God, you've got vitamin A in the form of retinaldehyde, like collagen, vegan marine collagen, you have red algae, which is really hard to source. This is amazing. And again, this is not an exact dupe at all. This is very different. Even the texture is different. But if you're looking at this from the point of an antioxidant boost and of Kakadu plum and some vitamin C, there is an option, and it's actually from Everglow. I actually ran out of the product in question, specifically the Opulent Hydration Dew. However, this is the closest one that I have. This is the Clarifying Hydration Dew, and this is different. This is made for more acne-prone skin, but I was recycling my glass bottles. I recycled the blue one. This is what I have to hold up, so this is what I will be holding here. But their Opulent Hydration Dew is basically a blue version of this that is an amazing antioxidant spray, and it does hydrate and support the skin underneath sunscreen just the way that this does. Now the Opulent Hydration Dew also has that Kakadu plum that's really hard to find, and it's got a ton of vitamin C. And they both also have aloe vera, niacinamide, and basically all of these helpful vitamins. Now, unfortunately, the Everglow one doesn't have the algae the way this does. And again, algae is an amazing organism, and it is phenomenal for skin. There are many studies on it, and it can be hard to formulate into products, but dude, Australia is on to something. I'm telling you, okay? We have a video about Australian skincare, and there's a high likelihood that it has not been edited yet because it has like 60 hours of freaking footage that we are trying to compile together. But boy, if you don't have notifications turned on, if you have not subscribed, if you have not liked this video and become a part of this family, you don't want to miss that one. But if you are on a super strict budget and you don't want to spend $178 on a beautiful Kakadu plum antioxidant serum, the Opulent Dew spray from Everglow is a really, really good option. You spritz on. It treated my skin well. I really haven't used this one much yet. This one is for more oily prone and acne prone skin. This is the Clarifying Hydration Dew. I will give you a review once I try this, but this one doesn't have the Kakadu plum the way that the blue one does. So go with the blue if that's what you want to do, and that is what I would recommend to you. Before we talk about SK2, so, oh boy, do I have a story behind this. So I have this SK2 bottle from back when it looked like this. I was not cruelty-free at the time, and I was in a lot of weird situations, and it was one of those where SK2 had just come out, and my manager was like, you have to try this, you have to put it in a video, I'll give you 3 bottles. And she went out and she got 3 bottles. And I filmed a video kind of talking about it. When I look at it, I'm like, this is $100 to $200. What makes this worth so much money? And again, this is not cruelty-free, which is one of the many reasons why I don't currently recommend it. But I would look at this and I was like, $200? Like, I was afraid to use it because it was so expensive. And it's this idea that people in Japan saw people who were working with like sake or, you know, working with fermented alcohol, basically, fermented rice, and their hands looked so beautiful. They'd be like, oh, how do you get such beautiful hands? And they were like, oh, it's this magical, amazing ingredient, and we have to take it and patent it and put it into skincare. And very, very smart from a business perspective, like patent it, own it for an amount of time, don't let anyone else have it, charge $200 for it, get some celebrities to endorse it. Fine. I will admit Dr. Idris loves it, and I will say it's not a horrible product. It's actually halfway decent. It just smells, it smells like a smell. I don't even know what this smells like. It's not overly fermented. It's not like bucha, but it does have this interesting scent. Do I think it's the best anti-aging thing in the entire world? No. Is it good for skin support? Sure. But is it worth $100 to $200 for skin support? No. So of course, I have an option of what I would buy and did buy if I didn't want to spend this kind of money. Now, full transparency, this is not an exact dupe. Again, the formula and texture of this is actually very different. However, if you wanted an exact dupe, I have heard that the Misha one is almost an exact dupe for this. However, this is not cruelty-free. As of now, Misha is not cruelty-free. That matters to me, and I do not want to use or harm an animal without their consent. That is not okay with me, and so this one and the Misha are currently off of my radar. But this, this made its way into my Amazon cart through the cruddy think K-beauty retailer type thing. And oh boy, when I put this on my face, I was excited. This is the Jinjong-sung. I think that's how you pronounce it. Jinjong-sung. This is an essence that is soothing. I actually find it to be more soothing and more hydrating than this. It gives you skin support and it is non-irritating. And if we're just looking at it from a point of aesthetics, they actually look very, very similar. Now the difference is that this one is a much more liquidy texture, whereas this one is almost like thick, gloopy globule. This one is definitely more like an essence and less like a toner. And I honestly feel like my skin gets more bang for its buck with this because it actually soaks into my skin so well and it really delivers this skin support and hydration. Whereas the SK2, it would go on my face, but I would need to use 2 to 3 products to follow up with it if I were going to bed, since I like a thicker moisturizer at night. This would be good for my oily skin during the day. I would not probably use this during the day for my oily prone. Well, maybe I would. Maybe I would. But overall, this has blown my expectations out of the water. When we look at the ingredients, they also tell a very different story. The SK2 one is actually super basic. It is basically this Pitera, which is again this patented molecule that they claimed ownership of and charge you $100 to $200 frickin' dollars for. You have butylene glycol, penylene glycol, water, sodium benzoate, methylparaben, and ascorbic acid. All fine ingredients, but I'm just like, it's basic, and you're just paying for this one, very liquidy ingredient, this Pitera in here. This Jinjong Song actually has copper, it has licorice, it has avocado, it has like these skin soothing ingredients, and the avocado, I find that to be a really nice touch. There are some skincare lines that I've used with avocado that just feel overly moisturizing. This one is really nice and it's soothing for the skin, but like you could use this as a moisturizer almost on a summer day and not feel like your skin is being suffocated. Which, keep in mind, I am oily. Now, one of the main ingredients in here is shea butter, but they also have licorice. So if you're prone to dark spots or hyperpigmentation, like there's stuff in here that works. Now, this doesn't have the same ferment. This doesn't have the Pitera or anything like that. So again, it's not an exact dupe, but it is very, very similar. I like it better. And if you're looking to spend literally a fourth or a fifth of what you would be spending on this, whoo, this is it. And Skinceuticals. Now, this one is actually an outlier. This one is not like the rest, but for good reason, and do let me explain. Skinceuticals, as you know, is a very popular brand. A lot of dermatologists and doctors sell them in their offices. A lot of derms and doctors recommend them, and I will give it to them. They have some great formulas. They do a lot of research on them. Again, similar to this Pitera, they patent their ingredients, and they're very business smart. They just charge you a ridiculous amount of money for things, and some of them I don't necessarily recommend. Now, I don't use Skinceuticals because they are not cruelty-free, and that matters to me. In the past, I have purchased things. This right here is actually a sample size of the SKII Ferulic. It smells like hot dog water, and again, if you want to try the SKII Ferulic, don't go buy the $160 bottle. Like, go find a derm who retails them and be like, can I have samples? And we will give you samples. I am not a derm, but like at the office, you can get samples. It's like Sephora, but like actually medical, and they're not trying to shove drunk elephant down your throat. This SKII Ferulic is a nice form of vitamin C. It is brightening to the skin. It is good, it absorbs well, I will give it to them. But if you don't want to spend $160 on something that's not cruelty-free and that can actually irritate the skin for some people, I do have an option. Now, this one is an outlier, as we mentioned, because this one is not actually less expensive. This one ends up being like 180 bucks with tax. This one is like 160, 165. So you're saving a couple dollars, but not a ton. Now, fun fact, I don't know if it's still on sale, but at the time of filming this video, it's $130 on Amazon. And it is from the actual retailer, Dr. Perricone MD. I don't know if that is still on sale, but I can say I have seen this on sale where this I have not. Now, what's the difference, and are these exact dupes? No. As you can see, this one not only smells like hot dog water, but it is a much more liquidy formula, and it's kind of clear and see-through. This is actually a triple C Ferulic serum, and it's actually an ester version. So this ester version of vitamin C is actually more stable, it penetrates deeper, and it's less likely to cause irritation. Now, they also put the vitamin E in here. They also put the ferulic acid, so it balances and rejuvenates themselves. But this is a 20% vitamin C complex, and I must admit, my skin absolutely loves this. Again, is it pricey? Yes. Should you spend $160 something on a vitamin C serum? No. We do have many vitamin Cs that we've discussed and ranked on this channel that are much less expensive that I would recommend you check out first. But if you say, I have the money, or I have been using, this product from Skinceuticals and I don't like the hot dog water, or I want something cruelty-free, or I just want something less irritating, I want something that's actually made by doctors and dermatologists like Dr. Perricone MD, this has been freaking phenomenal. And we're actually working on a Skinceuticals dupes video of actual dupes that are a little bit closer in texture, feel, and ingredient, not just like swaps. But as far as swaps go, this is a cruelty-free version. If you can find it on sale for $130, boom, shakalaka. That, in my opinion, is a golden vitamin C jackpot. Because when I saw this on sale, you know that I stocked up. And in general, this is a much better option than this one, in my personal opinion. Works better, feels better. You can get like $10 off technically, or you could get like 50. So yeah. What luxury products do you want actual dupes for, and what luxury skincare products that are over $100 did you actually like? Because shockingly, if I had the money, literally one of these eats up my entire skincare budget. But you know, if I didn't already have them in my routine, and if I didn't use them sparingly, and if I didn't have a ton of other skincare that I already need to use and go through and stick to, Cassandra, then yes, I would repurchase these again. But something like the Goop, boy am I glad this was gifted to me, because if I spent $120 on this and then it still irritated and destroyed my skin the way it did, man, would I have been even more pissed. Leave a comment below. Do remember to reapply your SPF. Stay hydrated both inside and out, even if that means bucha. And always remember to be beautiful. I love you, butterflies, and I cannot wait to see you in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.